Hello, coffee people. So today we do have our third episode. Thank you so much for always being there for us. And today we have one of the most important person in Africa at large globally. She has been in the industry for the longest time. She's going to tell us more about it. So she is an AST. It means an authorized SCA trainer. One of those jovial people I've ever met in the industry of coffee. So ladies and gentlemen, let's all clap our hand to welcome the one and the only Regine. Karibu.
Asante sana, asante sana.
Kindly do introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Regine Guillaume-Firmin.
Okay.
Please don't pronounce my name. I know it's very complicated.
Yes.
And I was born and raised in Paris.
Yeah, sure.
And my family is from Martinique.
Okay.
It's a very beautiful island in the Caribbean.
Okay.
And I've been living now in Kenya since 2017 unofficially, because I don't know if I was staying in Kenya, but 2018 was the official time.
The official time you came
Yes.
to Kenya. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And how did you get into coffee?
Oh, so it started by an ad. Years ago,
Yes.
I used to live in US and I moved.
So born and raised in Paris.
Born and raised in Paris,
Okay.
live a little bit all around the world.
Okay.
And at a certain time, I found myself in New York. I stayed there around 8 years, moved
Sure.
back to UK because I was living in UK before New York. And I was looking for work. And I just saw an ad was saying, would you like to to serve coffee in a museum? And in my head, I just say, wow, fantastic. Free pass for exhibition. So I apply. And the HR just loved me. She was fantastic HR. She's still the HR of the company up to today. And so next day, she put me in contact with the head of coffee. So I told her, by the way, I'm not a barista. I work behind a bar as a bartender, but not as a barista.
Yeah, sure.
She said, oh, don't worry. You have the mood and everything. I said, okay, fine. Sour too, let's do it. So the next day I met the head of coffee of the company.
Sure.
6 months later, I was the second head of training of the company, the head of coffee. And he taught me a lot.
Sure.
And I learned also myself to all the things I learned around. And I discovered SCA. And I discovered that...
So that was back in?
Oh, God. So I started there in the 14th of September, 2010.
2010. That's when you did your first SEA.
No. Oh, my first SEA, that was in 2015.
Okay. So 2010, that's when now you got into coffee.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I got it in coffee in 2010. No, 2014. Sorry, 2014 is when I got in SEA. And, or maybe 15. A while ago. Then from this, I left the company where I was, and I started in specialty as soon as I became an AST.
Mm-hmm.
And
now in 2014?
No, so in 2016, I became an AST.
Okay.
2016, I became an AST.
So you have moved from US?
Moved from US.
Mm-hmm.
Moved back to UK because I was living in UK before US.
Okay. And all along you're doing coffee?
No,
you're a barista?
I was doing wine.
Ooh.
Wine and cocktail. Mostly wine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the coffee started in a museum, Victoria and Albert Museum, actually, in a company which is still in Victoria and Albert Museum called Belugo. So I started there. And the company is bigger now, and I moved to specialty.
Yeah.
Yes. And that was in a company called Caravan. Really fantastic roastery
It was a
in London.
specialty coffee shop.
Oh, yeah. Specialty roastery.
In 20?
That was in 2016.
Uh-huh.
And at the same time, I was becoming an AST.
Okay.
And I was actually in the last course of AST at SCA in UK. The last
Mm.
course. That was because now it's online, but before you needed
So you were
to,
doing it online.
Yeah, before it was
Okay.
online, but no, now it's online. But before you needed to go
To the school.
to either SCA in UK,
Okay.
either wherever it was. Every month it was in another in different city.
Sure.
And every month you need, if the city was next to you, is good. Otherwise, you needed to travel.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So now it's all online.
Yeah.
It's way easier for everybody. But yes, I was in the last course at SCA in UK.
Sure.
Which, if you have the chance to go over there, it's in a farm. It's not in London, like they say.
It's in the farm, in
it's in a farm.
interior.
It's in a farm in the back of London, actually, and it's a nice place. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Now,
yeah.
what inspired you to become an educator? Like now to get
Well,
into ACA. You know, some people get into SCA and they're satisfied to be a barista, a roaster, but you decided to be an educator.
Well, that comes from very, really little. A thing is, since little, I always wanted to teach. I always wanted to teach. And every time people say, "What are you going to teach?" I say, and I always say, everything I know.
Sure.
That was very important for me. I know something, I need to teach it because it's the only way you can improve in transferring the message,
Yeah.
but also improve your skill.
Sure.
Because it's the moment you realize your mistake.
So the
and
more you
improve.
give the knowledge, the
You
more
give
you
the knowledge,
improve.
it's where you improve, because you improve by making sure you give the knowledge properly, but also making sure that people apply it properly.
Yeah.
And you learn from your mistake and their mistake. So you become bigger, they become bigger. That is something that since little I always wanted to know.
Okay.
In coffee is when I started, I had very inspiring AST, and I wanted to do the same thing. I said, okay.
So you had a person who was training you, AST.
In AST. And from this, I said, okay, I'm going to become an AST. And that was for me very important to do this. So my two first modules, like 90% of the people were barista and brewing.
Yeah, sure.
In Europe, even they have barista and brewing. Then later I wanted to do roasting.
Okay.
And another AC said, no, don't start with roasting, because for roasting you need to cup your coffee and you're going to roast green coffee. So
Yeah, sure.
If you don't know what it is stupid. Just start with sensory, then green, then roasting. So it's what I did.
Sure.
And after I ended up to have all the module, then the program for sustainability arrived. So I've done sustainability. And now finally, for a few weeks, I have water and preventive maintenance. So we're not that many AST to have all of them.
Okay.
I think we have 2 or 3, I don't know. So that is good.
Now, you have really changed the ball game of coffee or specialty coffee in Africa at large. Do you see a future in coffee in Africa?
There's a massive future. If we don't have a future in coffee in Africa, it's the end of coffee. That period, because it's the birthplace of coffee.
Yeah.
Changing the game, I don't think I did, because...
But you're really doing great.
for me, it's just... here in Africa, you have some people, they make course, but they make course to a certain financial elite. Exactly. So, or they bring their mate from Europe or wherever to do the course here. But for the people around here, things I notice is just, as long as they do as we ask them to do, it's good enough. Okay? Because when you train them more, they're going to leave. When you start with that kind of mentality, where you come back 20 years later, nothing has changed.
Sure.
And it's not good. I mean, Kenya just celebrates now, we're in 2025, so I think 70
years.
73 years now in freedom. So we need to carry on celebrating that freedom by make Kenyan much more independent. And not say, do as I say, and that will be done.
That's how you're supposed to be.
Yeah, come on, it's over.
Then we're not independent then.
That time is over.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not that I was changing the game. For me, it was important that Kenyan, first of all, drinks their own coffee. So having, creating or encouraging a local consumption
Sure.
of the product. And also that Kenya being on an international level. Kenya has everything to be on this level. However, things I notice is just most of the time, it's not wanted for people to have Kenyan to this level. And this is something that Kenyans should say, you know what? Enough of this. No, we have the level. I mean, do you think Shabaya just pop up out of a box?
No.
It was a long work, and this long work is because he wanted it, because he said enough.
Sure.
And the fact he said that
He
enough,
had to be bold.
Exactly, he became bold in his way he is. David from Maguta Farm, same things. It's because he said enough.
Sure.
And as soon as you say enough and you do it, you're successful at it. And those two people really show us the way.
Sure.
And it's just for those kind of things that I'm fighting.
Yeah, sure.
For me, it's really important.
And why Kenya in our whole Africa?
Oh.
You have always from London. You have told us a lot from London, US, UK.
Yeah.
Why Kenya?
That's
why not Ghana? Why not Uganda?
Yeah,
why not South Africa?
So all of it is just when I done green coffee, SCA green coffee. When I finished the module, I didn't see myself because at that time I was still living in UK.
Yeah.
So I didn't see myself being in UK and talking about a green coffee plant in the middle of Kew Garden. Says that just does not make any sense.
Sure.
So I call a friend of mine from Perfect Daily Grind, Henry. And I said to Henry, so he's a creator of Perfect Daily Grind. Follow that blog, it's a great blog.
I do follow it.
Yeah, of course. So I said to Henry, can you find me a job in Ethiopia? Because it's the birthplace of coffee.
Yeah.
Half an hour later, he said, I have Kenya. I said, good enough. So I went to Kenya. My first work was a complete disaster. However, I didn't give up because the people who made it a disaster, that was their own problem.
Yeah, sure.
Me, I was there for one thing, is just I fell in love with Kenya and I said, let's carry on, let's do it. And after I found a second work, which was okay. It's the moment I think we met.
Yeah.
Then a third one that was okay. Then after I say, okay, enough of this. Let's do it myself. And that was technically the birth of my company, who used to be called French Mission Roastery, which now we changed to Mau Mau Kahawa. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you have been in Kenya for the longest time, since 2018, right?
Yeah.
What do you think has been dragging Kenya coffee industry behind?
Politics. No, it's not even. It's not only politics.
Yeah.
It's still that very mind of I have the knowledge. I don't want to share it because if you become better than
people
me,
are conserved with the knowledge.
They want to keep it and they don't want to share it.
Yeah, sure.
And because they say, yes, if they take my knowledge, they're going to be better than me. I say, okay, be better in that case. Just improve yourself.
Yeah, sure.
Be better. The whole point of a student is the student has to become better than the master.
Yeah, sure.
That's a way that the master know they've done a good job. If your students stay really low, well, you didn't do a good job, or maybe the student was not interested.
Sure.
If your student become your competition, you've done a great job.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of a teacher. The student going to become better than the teacher. It's normal.
Sure.
And here, and the things I noticed with several people that I met, not all of them. There's one I noticed, she's, I'm going to say her name, Esther from Barista Pro. She's amazing, this girl. And she has a passion to push people, to push the Kenyan, just go to the
To
Middle East,
educate
go
people.
there, go there, go. And she had that drive and that passion.
Sure.
She was the only one. The other one, it was just, I have to keep it for myself, otherwise I'm going to have a competition. It's just, it's really a very retrograde way of thinking, and it's not really positive.
Sure.
And for me, this kind of mentality that really slowed down Kenya. When you have just one person single-handed going left to right to do a lab that used to be in Langata, nice. I say, when you see that, and at the end, she just have one module, and every time I was pushing her, you need to have more module, but financially it's hard and all the things. I say, when you see someone like her, she push you to say, we need to do more. We need to do more
Sure.
because we need much more great person like her. And she is really one of the person who encouraged me to say, okay, let's stay there. And she's doing a great job. And it's good because it's a Kenyan because me, I'm not Kenyan. I'm at the end of the day, I'm still a foreigner here. But seeing this, she's a Kenyan that gives so much to other Kenyan. And that is something it needs to be noticed. And that is great.
Now, what about now the Barista Championship? What has been dragging us behind in terms of competition? No one knows about Barista competition, actually. Citizens, they don't know. Only people in coffee industry who knows that there is barista competition. What is dragging the whole thing to happen?
I think it's the organization around it. The organization is very dated. It's very dated. If like every 2 years you have a new organization,
sure,
it would have changed completely the game. Like in all the country, because it's run by your chapter, by your SA chapter. So your SA chapter needs to be changed every 2 years.
Sure.
So automatically, you do not have the same person who runs the game. And because the popularity of your chapter, the popularity of your member going to make a bigger popularity of the event and attract much more sponsor, so your event become bigger. And the things I don't understand is Kenya is one of the first African participants of this world champion for more than 20 years. Because the Barista Championship is 23, 24 years.
Yeah, sure.
So they one of the first. You're telling me you're here since 2003, 4, and still no one knows about Kenya. Not even in Kenya. And that is the moment you're just wondering what is wrong.
Sure.
And after you realize, oh, okay, he's the same old dude from 20 years ago who's still running
the same thing.
That person should have been gone for 18 years.
Yeah,
Why is that person
sure.
still there? And this kind of mentality of to always going to the same people to do the same mistake and never learn from your mistake means that up to today, you see the Barista Championship, you think it started 2 days ago.
Sure.
And it's very frustrating when you see people like Sonia Bjorklund, there's a lady who started the barista competition.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, the barista competition in Kenya is just it's just a bit of a mockery of it because it's just in a strip mall. There's some people going around with their trolleys and you're just wondering what's going on. There's not a proper place. There's not a screen.
There's no proper organization
There's
about
no organization,
the whole thing.
but a screen. Just a screen to see what people are doing. Some kind of show around just to encourage people to having a proper place where we go in to run that event and not in the middle of a strip mall.
Anyway, I think that's a whole thing that we are going to sit down and talk about it.
Thing, yeah.
Now, let's get into education now. Mm-hmm. Now, you are an educator. You are an AST. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us what is SCA?
So SCA is Specialty Coffee Association, which actually started in US during the 80s, and it was Specialty Coffee Association of America.
Okay.
Then, so it was an education, a coffee education attached to your experience. So it was made by very highly experienced people in the coffee industry.
Okay.
And they have different pathways. So if I remember, there was the trade pathway, roaster pathway, and I think barista pathway. I don't remember this.
Okay.
Then later, I think around 10, 15 years later, you have the Specialty Coffee Association of Europe, which was much more focused on university education.
Okay.
So they start working with university to have something much more
standardized.
Yeah, exactly. And in 2016, they decided to unify. And for the unification, I think it took like 6 to 9 months because every members had to vote. And there was meeting on meeting. I don't even remember how many meetings I had in London. I was even in London. And it was meeting on meetings. There was meeting for AST, meeting for members, meeting for roasters, meeting for everybody, their dogs and their goldfish. It was just incredible because they really wanted to make sure that people understand what it is to have them together.
Okay.
Because it changed a lot of things, mostly for the education.
Coffee.
In coffee, because for US, they needed to reduce their whole education. So it needed to be aware of all this. So it was long, but quite, I think, for me, from my side, for what I saw, quite well organized. And it went through.
Now, what do you think? Do you think Specialty Coffee Association represent the coffee community?
Specialty Coffee Association represents the education, but it does not represent the community.
Okay.
Because you have all the association in the coffee community.
Okay.
So no, it's just one part of it, but it's not the whole community. Far from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Now, explain to us about now the Q evolved program, the evolved Q grader program from CQI.
It's a Q grader. It's a Q grader with a wing saving the world with a cup and spoon. No. So on a serious place, it's just let's go to the beginning. So I have a really funny joke about this. First of all, SCA evolved. Why evolve? I mean, Q grader, we understand. Just say Q grader with something else, but just evolve. It sounds like someone with I don't know, like Superman coming with a cup and spoon. No. As we know, SCA and CQI, so CQI is the organization that go in to certify the quality of the coffee.
Yes.
SCA is here to train trainers.
Yeah, sure.
Okay? So it's two different jobs. One is a banana, the other one is a strawberry. Two different things. Okay? So, and it's two different skills. One, you train them to certify.
Okay.
One, you train them to be trainers. That's it. And these two people that we really need, very important on the industry.
Yeah, sure.
There's not one higher than the other for the simple reasons they're not even running on the same game. One's doing rugby, the other one doing football.
Yeah.
That's it. So imagine you have Madame, her name is SCA. She's beautiful and sexy. And we have Sir, who is CQI, who is really strong and powerful.
Mm-hmm.
They've been having an affair for several decades now. And one morning, Mr. CQI wake up and say, well, I'm going to announce the world that...
But we have been dating.
Exactly. We've been dating, and now we're not together, but I'm a part of her. And whatever you say, you Q grader, Q certifier, well, I don't care. She's here now. And you have all the Q grader and the Q certifier. I say, dude, can we have a backup? Can you tell us something? I mean, what happened there? What happened there? And I have so many friends who just became Q grader, and suddenly you tell them, well, what you do is not enough.
Sure.
say, well, I just spent, I don't know, like $4,000, and you're telling me I have to do all this. So it's just the way CQI done it is very, very bad. I see SEA and SEAE and SEAA took 6 to 9 months to meet everybody just to make sure. And CQI, well, one morning they woke up and they just decided to put it on Instagram, not even send an email, nothing. They just put it on Instagram.
And that's bring us to now this the other question. Does the coffee community still trust the educational institution like CQI and an SEA after CQI took the decision of leasing for 10 years its Q grader program to SCA? Do you think we are going to trust them anymore?
Whew, okay, so that is a good question. Oh my God, that is a good question. So first of all, first we need to understand what is I don't like this Evolve Q Grader name because it's a really silly name. But so we the way we cupping is something we've been doing. So we've been cupping coffee for more than a century.
Sure.
Cupping is didn't born yesterday. It
has been there forever.
For a century.
Yeah.
But the cupping form is for washed Arabica. As we know today, we have carbonic maceration, we have natural, we have this, we have that, we have this.
Process.
So now we need to have a cupping form which is much more adapted to all the new coffees, the new fermentations that we have. Therefore, SEA change or improve, if you want, the cupping form. Therefore, the people who certify the coffee, you need also to improve them. So you could have said, okay, you Q grader, you need to do this in order just to be on the same standard because today we have some coffee, This would be way better. Instead of that, changing everything, not telling them and say you're not good enough, that is not good. Sorry, that's not good. And this go to your question is, for the Q grader, they're upset. And they're right to be upset. And I totally support that to be upset because you spend a lot to become a Q grader.
To earn a Q grader,
you
to be an instructor.
even more to be a Q certifier. And at the end of all this, someone just decided in CQI that, no, spend more. And it's just say, imagine people who just fail their Q grader.
Okay, they have to retake it.
And you have to retake it. And you're supposed to have 18 months. Now they tell you that you have up to September. And we're already in June. And you say, where I'm going to find that money? Where I am going to find that money?
It's crazy.
Because I have to redo my Q. And after I redo my Q, I have to do coffee value assessment. Where I'm going to find that money? And people have to understand, as an AST, I do course and I get remunerated by that course. When you Q grader, of course you can teach. When you see the fee you have to give to CQI to teach your course, it's not possible to have your money back. And you need to put this in a condition. I understand that CQI were saying, yes, the fee we asking are too high and we want to make the fee more affordable. Good. But first, talk to the people who just spent $3,000 to make an exam that they might fail before changing the whole program and put them in a dire position financially by telling them you can lose everything in 3 months. That is not helping them. It's putting them down. And that is just unacceptable. And as you can see through all the social media, many Q grader and Q certifier are highly upset. And it's totally normal. It's totally understandable. It's totally understandable.
Now, do you think the community will really trust the board, the CQI, the SEA? Do you think we are going to get again and trust them again after all these mess?
Well, the thing is, And someone from Coffee Sustainability Institute, I think his name is Tim Hines.
Yeah.
He works with Martin from Tosh. And Tim was say, well, now with CQI, we got, is it been, for the last few years, they had quack on quack on quack. So people got a bit technically, a bit frustrated,
Yeah.
but a bit used to it. The thing is, it's not, don't be angry at CQI and SCA. Be angry at the people behind it who messing up the game.
The management.
The management. And it's just as a people. At the end of the day, SCA and CQI are just education tool.
Yeah.
The problem behind it is human who just mismanage. How you wake up in the morning and you just decide to change the whole thing without saying it, that is just completely nonsense. That, for me, it's mind-blowing.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does certification work?
Certification for SEA, CQI, of both.
SEA or both together?
So for CQI,
yeah.
For CQI,
is it a written exam, practicals, or how does it work?
So that's retake exam. Actually, both of them work on averagely on the same system with different kind of things. So you have practical.
Okay.
You have theoretical.
Okay.
And you have exam for SEA online.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to take. You have to take in CQI. You have to retake.
Okay.
And if you pass, it's good. You have your exam.
Okay.
If you do not pass, you have to do it again. Mm-hmm. I do not know if for now CQI being a program of SCA, if they're going to keep the two retake. I hope they do keep it because in SCA it's only one retake. So for this, I don't know. That is something I will be able to know within a few months.
Okay. Tell us the difference between now intermediate, foundation, and professional level.
Okay. So foundation, and so that we're going back to SCA. So foundation is just, I know nothing and I want to learn a bit. Yeah, so just foundation is just baby step. It's purely baby step. Intermediate, I'm already in it. Now I need to up my game.
Mm-hmm.
Professional, I'm ready to be
a trainer.
I'm all in and I'm going to be like the trainer. I'm going to teach that course or I'm going to apply this to his best. Yeah, that is it.
And do you think cafes or roasteries consider SCA certification when hiring? Is it a key thing?
It's a key thing.
Mm-hmm.
By example, your head of QC is quite important that they do have CQI. You don't want to count, is a professional.
When you say QC, you mean coffee quality?
Coffee quality.
Okay.
So your head of coffee quality is quite important in the tool to have CQI. Your head barista is really important that they have SCA. Why? Because it's going to train the
other
staff.
baristas.
It's going to give a good standard to the rest of the staff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but do not focus just on a piece of paper. Focus on how the person going to apply this knowledge. Like the things I always say when people come to my school, I say, if you want wallpaper, well, you have the DIY store for that. But if you want to have the skill to apply your new knowledge, you are the right place. Mm-hmm. So you come to my place, you won't see all my certificates around. I know what certificate I have. I don't need to put them all around my place to remind me every morning, I've done this, I've done this. No, it's okay. So you won't see them. If you go to the you won't see my certificate. What you're going to see, there's machine, put your hands on it. That's it.
What's the hardest part of becoming a SCA certified profession?
The fee, the price. So the thing is, for me, it's very important to make the price affordable to the local community. Mm-hmm. Because I want that local community to be on a top of on the same level of everybody. But you need to understand they do not have the same wage of everybody.
Yeah, sure.
And this reminds me that that's something I want to do, because something there's something that SCA is going to do, is what I meant. Because it's been years I've been telling SCA, or been telling to my colleague when they come to Africa to do courses, they say, the price you apply in Europe or in US, you cannot apply it here in Kenya, because no one can afford a foundation course at 600 euros.
Yeah, sure.
That is purely ridiculous. You can't do this. In Europe, I pay sometime, I remember, a sensory foundation almost €1,000. But yeah, it's normal. It's
people
foundation.
affording it.
Because yes, it's not the same style of life.
Yeah,
so
sure,
that
sure,
is
sure,
normal. But when I'm in Africa, even my professional course doesn't reach that price. So the thing is, you need to make your course affordable. And I do understand, as a trainer, it's really hard because it costs a lot. It costs you your machine, it costs you the maintenance of this machine, it costs you the
There's
people.
So much
there's
around
so much things to do. So you understand, you want to factor this, but you need to be realistic. In that case, just going to ask people from abroad to come here to do the course. But if you want to train people here, well, you need to have much more affordable equipment in order to afford to make the price affordable for the local community. And what I wanted to say is, SCA, after fighting with SCA for years to say things needs to be affordable, why you don't have AST in Africa, no, not enough AST, or I think barely some AST, one hand is enough to count them, is because the fee is too expensive. So now SCA changing the fee.
Yeah, I saw that.
Finally. So Kenya is in tier 2, group 2, into group 2.
Okay.
So it's going to be $200 per year for a Kenyan to become an AST and to teach in Kenya.
So $200.
$200
to
per
become
year.
an AST.
Yeah. Yes,
nice.
plus the modules they want to do. That is affordable.
Yeah.
I don't pay $200 per year. No, me, it's just $2,000 I have to pay.
Now we get to the next question. Is hands-on experience more important than the theoretical knowledge for getting the SCA certificate?
Both of them are highly important. I teach you a theory, which is good. So you understand the why behind all the things you do. So that is very important. However, if you do not practice it, how do I know if you do it well?
But there is someone who can do it better, but they don't know what. Most of the thing, for instance, we had Martin over here. Martin started as a trader. He was trained over the counter. I don't think he went for SCA.
No. Not at my knowledge.
But actually he became the best in the world without even going through all those SCA.
Well, you need to see what is doing competition. So when you train for competition, it's not the same as when you're training to run behind a coffee shop. It's two different kind of training.
But he was still in the coffee shop.
Yeah, he was training in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
But you train in a coffee shop, just the thing.
Do I need even the SCA knowledge?
No, that things you need to understand. Practical is highly important.
Sure.
Theoretical is important because I tell you, do this, like move that microphone in front of my mouth.
Why am I doing that?
Exactly. And that is a theory that it comes. The theories they say, okay, you need to do it because there's this, because the sun engineer can hear. All those kind of things. Okay? So when to become on the top of the world, to be a very good barista for championship, I'm going to tell you right now, no, you do not need SCA. You do not need CQI. You just need to have the right techniques, the right people around you. I mean, have you seen the fantastic? He had owner team. Who can lose with a team like this? I mean, seriously. And I mean, Sasha is an amazing person. I mean, with him, he just gives you a smile and two little things and flip, and that's it. You're on the top of the world because the guy is absolutely amazing. He has that communication. So when he saw Martin, and Martin also, he has it. He's much more discreet, but he has that things that vibe. And when you have this, you can go. And also, I think it's very important when you train for competition, you need to have it inside of you.
It's more of a passion.
It's really a passion. It's not easy. And I don't know that because I've been to many competitions.
Yeah.
And I train people for competition.
You're a judge as well.
Yeah, I was a judge. And the thing is, be in front of the stage and moving there, moving right, doing this. It's not an easy task. And you need to, as a judge, we need to see your passion. We need to know a judge is looking for an ambassador. And when you don't have it, you can have the perfect coffee, the perfect everything. You're not an ambassador. Nah, should we give that not? Nah, go. And that is this. We need an ambassador. What we're looking for is an ambassador. And for this, it's not SCA. SCA doesn't teach you to be an ambassador. SCA tell you need to be the microphone there because of the sound, because of this, because of the vibration of your voice. That it has nothing to do with the competition. But the competition, you need just to show, I love what I'm doing. I love my work.
Okay.
I understand my machine. I understand all this.
Now, how has SCA, SCA certification influenced the global specialty coffee community? How has it influenced?
I have one name for this. He's my first student in Kenya.
Yeah.
Kimbunja. Or Slick Barista.
In Dubai.
In Dubai. This is, and I mean, that is the first one that come to my head, but I have many of them. But him is really, he showcased how, because he grabs it so well.
Actually, he attained the café diploma the other day.
Yeah, it's a café diploma. I'm just wondering why he doesn't take it, because he's entitled to have all the diplomas. He should have. But the thing is, he really grasped it. He really understood that he wants to be successful. He wants to go to the UAE.
Sure.
And if they just see the young African, yes, you're on the bottom of the barrel. But now, I'm the young African with a certification. I'm getting, a little bit on the top.
Yeah.
And they say he had another certification. And he was higher. Then after he done this one. Then after he become an AST. Then after... He really understand it. And he say, I'm going to use it to his best, to his fullest, in order to be the best of what I'm doing. And he is an amazing
Kibuja
example.
Is an amazing guy.
He's an amazing example. So, yes, people see it, but they don't see the piece of paper. They see how you apply, how you use that piece of paper, how you use your knowledge. And Kimbunja is really good at this because he doesn't come there, I'm an ST, I'm this and this.
No.
When you hang out with him in UAE, he just come, I'm just slick. I'm slick. That's it. He doesn't say anything else. He say, it's slick. That is it.
Yeah, sure.
But after you see the guy does it, he knows this, you talk about this. He apply his knowledge properly. And this. And that changed everything. That suddenly people just give him all the job. They chase.
Yeah.
Kimbunja doesn't look for the job chases him.
Because he had the right.
Exactly. Because he understands that he didn't spend that money, he didn't do this just to have wallpaper. He applies that knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think technology will change the barista and roasters, how they are trained and certified?
Yeah. It's going to get it better.
Sure. The technology is really moving so fast.
Yeah.
I've seen in China, things are running over there.
Yeah.
There is a machine even doing the latte art.
Yeah, the machine is doing the latte art. But the thing is, where you see that machine really every day? On a cruise boat. Because it's fun. On a cruise boat and I think in a few clubs somewhere in Prague. So those kind of machines, those kind of technologies, they're good, but they're highly expensive.
Yeah.
And, people love the community. They love the exchange.
Yeah.
They love
coffee is a
thing.
community.
Exactly. And, going to a place and discussing with the barista where the coffee is from, the machine can't do that.
Yeah, sure.
So the machine going to do maybe something cool for Starbucks. But when you go to your corner coffee, and it will be too expensive.
Yeah, sure.
It says that machine takes the job of two baristas But I would prefer to have the two human baristas that make me a
So
way
is
better
it going
job.
to change how baristas and roasters are going to be trained?
Yes and no. Those machines, they won't change anything.
Okay.
They just gimmick. But what's going to change is, for example, how we improve the quality of the roasters today.
Okay.
We have better roasters. You have things like the Lohrings, you have the Stronghold, you have many roasters from Turkey and China which are coming and getting better and better. So
Okay.
mostly Turkey is really known for very good roasters. For the grinders, they really improve the quality of the grinders. And making better grinders with burrs that last longer and grind much more uniform coffees. The espresso machine also went also further with different material that conduct the heat for the espresso better. So
Okay.
therefore we have an espresso that is not too cold, better steam arms. So that kind of technology I'm talking about, that really improves the quality of the work and also the quality of the drink for the consumer. Because at
Okay.
the end of the day, when you're doing SEA and CQI, it's not for you, it's for the consumer. At the end of the day, what you want is people enjoying a good cup of coffee.
And people to understand their cup of coffee.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is there any limitation in SCA? Is there a place now you be like, now I have a master's in this?
That you never master on anything. I'm going to tell you one thing. Frankly, I'm one of the rare AST who have the 3 programs.
Okay.
And still, I'm going for CVA. Still, I'm going for copper this.
Okay.
Still, I'm reading some books and I'm learning every time with farmers for fermentation and everything. And there's never like, some people say, okay, I've done this. I'm the top in coffee knowledge. No, you're never on the top of coffee knowledge because every day we find something new.
Okay.
Every day we have never discovery. We have a new discovery. Things I always say, when you're a trainer, you're a perpetual student. You never stop learning. Never.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what inspired you to start Karibu Kahawa?
Kenyan. Kenyan not enjoying the beauty of their coffee. So it was, the thing is just making the coffee welcome in the life of Kenyan.
Or Karibu.
Karibu. Yes. That is it, Kenyan.
And how is it so far so good?
Fantastic. I have my residency. I'm here for 10 years.
Congratulations.
Yes. It has been fantastic.
Sure.
It was hard,
Yeah.
but things need to be hard. When they're too easy, you do not appreciate them the most. If you want to appreciate them well, they need to be hard. You need to work for them. So that is really important. Now I have to say we, because I work with one of my students who going to become an AST at the end of the year, Alice. Hello, Alice.
Hi, Alice.
Hi, Alice. And Alice, one of Alice's students, going to be a first SCA certified student when she become an ST.
Wow.
Her name is Ruth.
Yeah.
I call her Ruthie. And so hello, Ruth. Is also a trainee teacher. So we 3 now.
Okay.
And they're focusing much more on the barista. I'm focusing on the rest. And Alice working for all the farmers like Bahati Blue and everything. So yeah. So that is it's good to see that now. It's fantastic. I said,
so
I can retire.
Which are some of the courses that you're offering in Karibu Kahawa?
So we're offering also also program of FCA, soon CVA, soon coppers. But for now, we're offering introduction to coffee, but sensory, green coffee, roasting, brewing, barista, the sustainability program, and now water and preventive maintenance. Yes.
You're giving just normal certificate or SCA?
SCA certificate for people who don't want to do SCA.
Okay.
So we do also small courses, mostly for barista.
Okay.
So when someone started like, I'm 18 and I want to do coffee, we say just start with a regular training. And
Yeah.
Alice is taking care of this. She's
Okay.
doing very, very, very well.
Yeah, she is.
And after later, and we're supporting also people to, when they're 21, obviously, to go abroad. We helping them. And things, I'm going to say something about it, and I don't care if he's going to, I'm going to open my mouth about it. When people say, I'm going to help your son, daughters, and everything to have a job in Dubai, give me that amount of money and I find the job. They don't even have the job for you. And they're
It's like a
asking you some
commission.
money. No, the commission is after the work is done, not before you start the work. So if someone asks you for money to find a work in Dubai, I'm going to tell you the real things. That person went on LinkedIn, find a job. You don't even know if you're going to have the job. And they ask you, I don't know, 400K for that. Excuse me, opening LinkedIn doesn't cost you 400K. Okay? So at Karibukawa, no, we do not charge just to have a LinkedIn page. That is free. Okay? And be aware that a real commission, and I have someone in Kuwait, Tony, who does it. He makes the people, so he tell you, we have the job. There's a job. You have to do interview. You have to do your visa. You have to do everything. And the day you finally have your plane ticket in your hand, that is the moment you ask for a commission because you're going to leave.
Yeah, sure.
So, and it's a way commissions, once the job is done, is the moment you get it. You don't, it's like, I'm going to sell that house. Can I have the commission first?
No. You have to sell it first.
You have to sell the house first, then you get your commission. So if anyone asks you for money to have a job in Dubai, don't pay. Just tell them, let me do the interview, let me do this, let me do the visa, let me have the plane ticket in my hand with the visa in my passport.
Then after that,
then I pay you. Okay? Very important.
Now,
so that's why.
What are you doing to ensure that your training is it's accessible to smallholders and farmers and even baristas?
Well, what we do, I make the price lower. That's it. For me, it's very important because the thing is, I travel a lot. So depending where I am, I'm going to have different kind of pricing for the work because I have to factor my plane ticket and everything.
Yeah.
So all those expensive course that I do abroad technically co-pay for my course here, and that make them affordable. For me, it's really important.
Okay.
And this is something, some kind of things I've been saying to SA for years, and I'm so glad and I'm not the only one. They finally understand that depending on which country you have, you cannot have the same price.
Yeah, sure.
No.
What's the most rewarding thing about your job?
Seeing people going abroad, seeing people getting better, seeing people becoming AST. Yeah. I cry when Kibuncha becomes AST. Oh my God, I'm crying. And
emotional.
When your student become a trainer, oh God, that is
it's okay.
Most beautiful thing.
It's okay.
And that is fantastic.
That's the most rewarding thing.
Yeah. And you see, it's not easy. It's not easy for African. It's not easy for Southeast Asian. I was in India and it's the same problem. In India, I think they have 3 ASTs.
Yeah.
And you say, oh my God, the same problem again. And can I have a tissue, please? Thank you. And when you see things like this, oh my God, it gives you so much joy.
Yeah, sure.
And that's why I wake up every morning for that.
So you're fulfilled about it.
Yeah. It's very important for me. It's very important.
So based on your experience, what are some of the most exciting trends you are seeing in the coffee industry that are coming right now?
Oh my God.
Paragon.
There's so many.
There's so many things. What are exciting you right now?
What's exciting me is the grinders, the roasters, The new roasters that you see, the new electric roasters, because they're very affordable for Africa. They understand Africa.
The link?
Like the link.
Yeah.
Link is very good. Well, it's true. Everybody can know I'm an Ikawa lady.
Yeah.
But Ikawa is really expensive and everything. But
So you
I'm
went
an
to
Ikawa.
London?
So I went to Ikawa to get my new Ikawa. But the thing is, Link, I really love what they do. It's really great.
Yeah.
Because it's affordable. You can put it in your bag, even in your handbag. And it's practical. It does the job very well. Amazing. Link is amazing.
Are you a brand ambassador to them? Are you a brand ambassador to them?
No. But I know someone who should be a brand ambassador is Lahari from Queen Bee. She should be, because she loves that thing. So yeah, no, I'm not a brand ambassador.
Okay.
If I was a brand ambassador, it would be my Ikawa. You can't take me off my Ikawa. But Link for Africa is fantastic.
Yeah.
I love a company like, for example, Timor, making very good equipment, really affordable. D-Fluid, that I'm a brand ambassador.
You've been working with it
D-Fluid,
for sure.
because it's super affordable. Call me if you need some D-Fluid. Super affordable, and they really understand Africa. So,
sure.
yes.
Yeah. So, how do you approach teaching sustainability and ethical sourcing in courses?
Oh God, that is really, I like that question, because a thing is, course like sustainability and green coffee. So let's start with green coffee, and you're going to understand what go to sustainability. So green coffee is written by Global North. Okay. But it's written by mostly two men and other person, but mostly one is Ludovic Mayas, the other one is John Thompson.
Yeah.
And it's two people, one is Scottish, one is French, but they live a lot in the Global South. However, they're coffee traders for Global North.
Sure.
So when you see the course and when you see the curriculum of the course, it's really Global North who say to Global South how to make the coffee to be attractive for Global North.
Okay.
I'm in Global South. I can't teach like this. People are going to call me colonialist. They say, Muzungu. I said, no. So every time I've been talking to them, and the thing is, the way SCA is, when you do, the way SCA is, they have a standard curriculum.
Okay.
But you need to adapt the curriculum on wherever you are. So it's not, as long as people understand the knowledge and they have the knowledge, but you need to adapt to what you have.
Okay.
So I do my green coffee like Global South, talking to Global North, and empowering Global South to have a great coffee, to sell it at the right price to Global North. So for sustainability, when Dr. Erika Kos, Nora, I forgot the last name, and the third lady, when they done it, so three women, when they started to do this program, they all know Global South, and they're very precious. So just the thing is, see it through the eye of Global South. And through the eye of the farmer, through the eye of the woman, through the eye of the young people who work here.
Okay.
And it's what it is. And that's why Erika, technically, when she started teaching this course, actually moved to Kenya. And now the course changed again and make it in a much more bite size, because before it was quite a very big course, which I really enjoy, but it's not for everybody.
Okay.
So now they make it in a smaller chunk, because it's quite big. It's a whole program on its own. And this make it in a way you can actually make something much more direct to any kind of person in the coffee industry. So it can be for the farmer, so it's going to be for the climate. You're going to be the trader, you're going to be for the finance and the footprint, the CO2 footprint. So you have different kind of base, and green coffee, and that's why I was talking about green coffee, is going also the same way. Exactly, that's why.
As we wind up, if you had a chance to have a coffee with someone all over the world, who would it be?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother. She's alive?
Unfortunately, she's not.
Yeah.
Because she is the one with whom I enjoyed my first cup of coffee.
Ooh,
Yes.
that
And it
means
was
a
her
lot.
coffee from her coffee tree.
Ooh.
She roasted and I stole. And I stole from her.
Sure.
And that made her laugh. That was our joke.
Yeah.
And that cup of coffee, my first cup of coffee that I have is my grandma.
And you
That is
really
the best.
want to start to have that moment again with her.
Yes.
Nice,
Yes,
nice.
and the thing is, just since I was working coffee, she always asked me for coffee, coffee from all around the world. So I always give her coffee.
Okay.
So that is, yeah.
So soon or later, we are going to have Mr. President. Maybe, inshallah. Which one question would you ask him about coffee?
About coffee,
Yes.
just if he can make a regulation which makes the coffee in Kenya easier to access.
Sure.
Because right now, you a farmer and you want to sell your coffee. So you can, on paper, yes, you can sell it. But after, just to move the coffee, to store the it's so tiresome and it's so hard for any farmer that it makes small farmers no, I can't do that. And it's really, really hard. It's not really easy. And so just makes the coffee much more accessible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Regine.
You're
It was a
welcome.
pleasure to have you.
Oh,
it was
thank
so
you.
emotional. I've never had such an episode. You've really made me so emotional. Thank you so much. Anyone that you give us, our audience over there, about our episode, about anything about Coffee is the Charts.
So one thing is, so many things, but I'm going to just keep it short. When you start in coffee, start with passion. Don't do coffee for money. Don't do coffee because why not? Yes. But don't do coffee for money. Do it because there's a passion, there's something you want to do and have a goal. Don't do barista because your parents told you to do barista. Do barista because you want it.
Sure.
Do roasting because you want it. And one thing I would like to add on it is when you're a barista, becoming a roaster is not upping your game. No, it's like I'm a dentist and I'm going to become a kinesiotherapist. They're both medical sector, but they have nothing to do with each other. So no, when you're a barista, the next step is not roaster. The next step is manager running a coffee shop.
Sure.
Okay? So understand that when you want to become a roaster, it's really important to do sensory and green before because you're going to cup the coffee and you're going to roast green coffee. So you need to know what you're doing.
Sure.
So this is things you need to understand. And if you have any question, please feel free to contact me. Okay.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much. Keep subscribing to our YouTube channel. See you next episode. And thank you for watching. And thank you for the internet is really growing right now. The last episode that we had with Martin Shabaya, it has gotten us to 70,000 views on TikTok. And on Instagram, we have 35,000 views on Instagram. So we are growing for sure.
Fantastic.
And let's keep growing and let's continue spreading the word of coffee.
Yes.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.